An aircraft is a very complicated jigsaw puzzle, but by putting it together it helps us know how to draw it. So we're going to have two sections in the middle, like that, which are stuck together like that. And then we have an aft section, which is stuck on the back there like that. And then we have a cockpit section, which is stuck on the front, like that. And then we have the tail fin, which is kind of glued in like that, and we have tail wings, and this is a bit more complicated. I'll try and fit that in there, and they get stuck on there like that. Across the middle we have the wings, and they're going to be something like that, and then we're going to have a wing on the other side. And conveniently, when you stick that in there, you don't get to see the other engine, so you don't have to draw that. The first thing we need to do is to decide an angle at which the plane is flying. We're kind of looking down on the plane. If you find any of this video confusing, don't forget you can stop, start and replay this video anytime that you like. Let's find the middle, and that's going to be the vertical. And then we want to draw an ellipse around that vertical, because we want to create tubes that are going to be the fuselage. So let's try and understand something about tubes and ellipses. This is a tube and the cross section is a circle, but when you rotate that tube and look at it from the side, suddenly it's not a circle anymore, it becomes an ellipse. And that is what we need to do here. We need to draw an ellipse. So this is the vertical, and then that is going to be the horizontal for the plane, and that's the absolute middle of the plane. We need two sections in the middle, so we're going to have kind of two sections there. We want that curve there, and then there's going to be a tube at the back here, but what happens is that it kind of curves down to about there, and then this curves up to about there like that. And then on the front we need another tube. You know, if you're a ruler kind of person, you might want to do that, and you might want to do that. And we want the same kind of distance to about there, and just come down slightly, and then that wants to go up to there, and then that will come down to about there like that. The wings are going to be roughly attached midway between these two sections, so you can sort of draw a curve like that, and then wings go back, but we actually want it to come back quite at an angle, because it's also going up. Okay, so we don't want them coming straight out on the horizontal, so that will be coming out at an angle like that, and it's probably coming in a little bit like that and then out to the end. And most planes these days have winglets, so let's put in a little winglet on the end. I did a video of a 787 Dreamliner, and in fact it's kind of weird that you can't really see the winglets on there. It's all in the way. The wings on the Dreamliner are kind of swept back up into the little, kind of like boomerangs at the end. But quite often you will see this little winglet thing here. Now this is going to come through about to there, and you can imagine it's going off about like that. That will go straight across, so we'll want it to be going straight parallel with that kind of line there, and then we'll bring that back to about there like that. And modern airlines, these wings are quite slim these days when they get to the end. Okay, now here we're going to want to put the tail fin in, and I think I'm going to have to bring this down in the picture a bit. So we're going to, if we start about there, and we're going to put the tail fin in like that, but then we want it to curve forward onto the fuselage, and also it's got a kind of a thickness to it, so it's going to be kind of like that there. We'll maybe add an extra little bit on the end, and here we're going to get the tail wing, which doesn't come out horizontal, which is that. So if we draw in the horizontal, then we can work out roughly where we want it to go. So there's going to be something like that, but then the tips of it will then be parallel with that sort of center line of the fuselage. And then here we're not going to see much on the other side. It's going to be about like that, so we can kind of follow that through to about there and there like that. So the other wing will be something like that on the other side. We can have a line right down the middle where all the windows will be. So here we can take that kind of line around to where the cockpit windows will be. So they're going to be something like that. That's going to be kind of the front. And then we're going to want one, two, three windows around the front like that. So just sit 3 on each side. And then round about here we will have the cockpit door, and around about here we'll have one door and another door there maybe, and maybe another door at the back. So this is a this is a kind of a mixture. It's quite a dumpy craft, this one I've done. If you want a longer and narrower aircraft, then just extend the length of each section. And here I'll put those curving Dreamliner kind of wings in. Now underneath here, that's kind of, you can work out roughly where the engine is going to be attached. So that will come forward and back like that. And the engine is sort of hanging down, attached to this piece here. And we want to draw like a cigar kind of shape like that. And then we want to kind of go like that, which isn't easy at all, is it? So we're drawing a kind of a football, American football, rugby ball shape. A little curve in there and then a curve around like that. And then we want the kind of engine bit sticking out the back. And we're not going to see any of that on this side at all. Now to ink this in, we just kind of follow the lines, and it's kind of quite smooth all the way. And that's going to be something like that all around to the end. And we want that to be there and follow that around like that. Down here we can just kind of sweep that into the front of the wing, up, around and back. Here we're going to go up, sweep that around and then back to there. We can put a kind of a line like that in there, bring that forward and sweep that up to the back. And here on the engine we'll have that fairing holding it down. We've got these other kind of track fairings at the back here. These hold the rack and pinion to allow the flaps and everything to come down. And then we've got kind of these lines on the fronts of these, I can't remember what they're called, flaps or brakes or something like that. They all kind of move out as well. Everything sort of moves all over the place. Wings are like those kind of Transformer toys where the whole thing kind of explodes apart while you're trying to land and take off and things. So let's go around that there with a wiggle, 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 wiggle. And then we'll come around there like that and around like that. And then we'll sort of put the middle bit in there. And then we want another kind of piece behind there. Let's draw in these cockpit windows. Then we're going to want the cockpit door. And then we'll put the windows in and another door, so they need to be curved, and then we'll have lots more windows which aren't circular, but you know, they're that kind of round edge square kind of thing. And then we'll maybe have another door there and some more windows and a door. Then when you are absolutely sure that the ink is dry, you can erase all those pencil lines and people will go, whoa, how did you do that? Because they don't know that you spent time laying it all out, and I'm afraid if you want to get good at drawing, that's what you have to do. We can bring that up the front there as well, and we're going to want the rudder, and we'll have bits across the front there and going across the back, which will be the flaps or ailerons or something. I guess say I'm not an aircraft engineer. Put a line across there. And we've got all sorts of kind of flaps and things coming across there too. We could put a little bit of shading in there like that. I'm going to kind of put a little wobbly kind of line like that going across there for the airline design. And then you can put some little kind of bits of whoosh coming out of the plane as it's zooming past. And if you follow those principles, you should be able to draw pretty much any passenger aircraft. Thanks for watching, and keep coming back to the Shoo Rayner drawing channel for lots more drawing videos. In the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.